And this is the guy who held down 149 in St. Nick and shook
Yeah.
him.
Hmm.
How low can you go?
Yeah.
Oh, Diablo, Daryl,
Yeah.
Jason, all my big cousins
Player.
that
Oh,
raised me, he raised them. Shout out to True, shout out to Gritty, shout out to everybody at
yeah.
149, my grandma. Like, this dude really paved the way for a lot of G's. So to bring him up here means a
The
lot to me.
capital of the world for that section of Manhattan. More shootouts and stuff over a couple of joints. I lost my brother the weekend before he was leaving for the service
Oh,
over two guys with some seeds in a joint. We got caught in the crossfire. I got hit by a ricochet, and my brother got hit about 16 times back and front,
wow.
right in front of our stoop where I grew up.
That's going to be
And
horrifying.
I was only home for a weekend
Wow.
myself to see him off to the service.
Damn.
Bounce back, ain't got a moment. When they see you down, just know they love it all.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got a special guest with me today. So why don't you tell the people your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself.
All right, my name is Mark Brown. I'm from New York, but I've been residing in Massachusetts and New Hampshire and the Department of Correction for a few years, but got my life together and I'm doing the best I can to make it work.
You came in with a couple books in your hand. So why don't you just tell the people a little bit about the books and the names of the books, where they can get it.
First of all, the first book is Genesis. It's about a prisoner 90 days before his release has to find his daughter and the trials and tribulations that brought him to prison and the stuff that happened a little bit in prison and him getting out. The second book is called Determined Sister. This is the prequel to Genesis. So it gets Manhattan, the protagonist in Genesis, his start. But this is about an African American woman who does everything in her power to stop her son from becoming the gangster thug, drug dealer that he eventually becomes anyway. Sometimes destiny can't change. There are several other books I haven't planned that are just about to be released back to back to back. These books are on Amazon. Determined Sister has actually been taken up by Walmart. BJ's as well, so they are everywhere. Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles. You can find these books everywhere that books can be sold. So the author's name, of course, myself is Manhattan. There's Determined Sister, and there's Genesis. So both of them, just look them up on Amazon.com, and you can find them for sale. I appreciate any support I can get. These were written inside, and my brainchild during my incarceration that got me through.
To be clear, these are this is fiction, non-fiction. Are they loosely based
on past acquaintances and friends, but they're all fictional.
Okay.
These events are any similarity or resemblance to anything or just coincidental. All right, but the books are, I'd say, urban crime dramas, but fiction, good reading. If you have time to read, if you find time to read, which reading is actually some of the best things to get you out of the space you're in,
Absolutely.
you should do this.
Why was it important for you to write books and to keep writing books? Why is that so important for you?
Well, my time inside was limited to either your education, or just sitting there drowning your own suffering. You're in a venue of the Walking Dead. You're sitting there for punishment, but you're supposed to be rehabilitated, and there's nothing to rehabilitate you. I was lucky. When I went in 20 some odd years ago, almost 30 years ago, there were so many programs, so many, and I did every one of them: carpentry, painting, construction, small engine repair, anything that was there I did. I was lucky that I came in with an education. I came with a college degree from New York University, graphics communication arts. My father was a New York City school teacher, and my mother was a nurse in New York City, and I'm the youngest of 8, and my education was paramount to them. I got through high school and college and came to Boston, and they say in life, wherever you go, you go with you. You can change your atmosphere, your geological location. You can change your mindset, but at the end of the day, whatever person you was there, sooner or later will come out where you were, where you go.
Yeah.
But my father said, being that I ended up going to prison, that use my time wisely.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't let me. He paid for my college. There was no United Negro College from back then. My parents worked and paid for my college.
Wow.
So I had to go and do what he wanted me to do as a major. I wanted animation. He thought it was childish as a teacher. He didn't see that it's a multi-trillion-dollar thing now.
Right.
But he threw away thousands of dollars on my comic books.
Oh man.
Back then, and I changed my major to journalism, and he said, use my time wisely. And I sat back once he passed away about 2 or 3 years into my incarceration. And the last thing he sent me was a quote by Malcolm X saying, if for deep thought meditation, if a man wants to find a place to go to do that, prison is the next best thing to college. If he could change his life there, he can change the world. I strapped that to the top of my bunk, and I looked at it every day, and I bunkered down again when he was gone and said, I'm going to put my time to good use. I started writing, and that one book turned into 2, into 3, into 4, and by the time I left, I had 6 books written totally, 6 separate manuscripts. I couldn't get them sold inside because everybody was saying, you're a prisoner. You can't make profit off your crime. This is not my crime, but you're inside. It's called the David Berkowitz law.
Okay.
So you, as a writer, can't make any money in prison.
Wow.
Being a ward of the state.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
So I waited till I got out. Within a year, I got to all the publishers and ended up self-publishing one. And then the next one, they came and gave me almost a $10,000 advancement.
Wow.
And now they're just waiting for more books.
That's amazing. So it seems like nowadays, especially with, maybe kids and adolescents coming up, people look, even me, I haven't been reading as much like as I should or I want to. So why do you think that that's important for people in general? I guess of all ages, doesn't really matter, but maybe the youth especially.
The times have changed. Technology has changed. I graduated printing photography. I was thinking I was going to make a living in newspapers. I worked at the New York Times. I went from shaking down the paper boys to working for the paper stand that hired me to protect them from me, people like me, to the point where guys said, hey, you want to be in the back of the truck for the New York Times? I went from that paper stand to that. After a while, I was in the Bay. I said I wanted to do this. I was going to high school for it. They said, really? New York School of Printing? And then they changed it to graphic communication arts when I graduated. Then I went to New York University for graphic communication arts. Come inside, take a look. I was making plate presses. But by the time I graduated, it was obsolete. Cell phones were just coming out.
Yeah.
And they can get your information within a split second in a newspaper. Guess who reads newspapers? Prisoners, people in doctor's offices, people in hospitals, adults.
Yeah.
Anyone over the age of 35. But the technology has changed that the cell phones and the internet has brought information to you so quickly, no one thinks they don't have time.
Right.
And no disrespect women. My wife and girlfriend, I'm a poly, by the way. I'm a person with multiple relationships. I've always had them. So I have a wife and a girlfriend.
Okay.
Actively wife and girlfriend that know about each other. So this is not a wife someplace, a girlfriend someplace, are 2 different lives. But one reads. She still buys books. I take her to Books A Million and bookstores, and she made a library just like I have. I grew up with a library in my house. But for the generation now, everything's so immediate. When I was growing up, the TV went off at a certain hour, and it came back on at a certain hour. Then news became 24 hours. Then shows became longer, more commercials, more. My dad called it the idiot box back then. Now we call it the pacifier.
Yeah.
Every kid that you see in a baby carriage is strapped to a cell phone.
Yeah.
your attention span is as long as you can get to skipping the ad,
Yeah.
which
Exactly.
most people won't do. The educational system has changed too. Now there's computers that my son brings home.
Wow.
I have a lot of kids.
Mhm.
I'm grateful that I have them. A lot of people that went inside don't.
Yeah.
Their lives and time got cut short. Mine didn't. I went in the same person I came out the same person I went in. I had a focus. You have my body, not my mind.
Yeah.
And I used every second after wallowing in my own stuff because I couldn't get an appeal.
Right. Yeah.
That I was going to use my time wisely. That's why I put it towards the books and my education and every program that was there. I went from one program to another, carpentry to welding to this to that. I have more certificates. I became a law clerk inside and a paralegal because my time was important.
Yeah.
I did 20. I was sentenced to truth and sentencing when it just came out.
Okay. So explain that for the people who may not know.
All right. I got into a fight over. Let me start from the beginning. I was a drug addicted person, just party and stuff like that, and I got clean. But I was a unlicensed pharmaceutical distributor.
Okay.
We call them drug dealers.
Yep.
All right, but I was an unlicensed pharmaceutical distributor, and I had distributed some pharmaceuticals, and the person didn't pay me. But I was clean and sober then, regardless of the people I was dealing with that weren't.
Yeah.
And the theory of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous is people, places, and things. You don't change the people around you. You don't change the things you're doing, and you don't change the places you're at. You're going to continue to use or act in that manner. And regardless that I stopped using internally, I still surrounded myself with that element. The individual didn't pay me. I went to collect my money. And a few new laws that just came into effect. And one's called truth and sentencing because of so many carjackings in New York, Chicago, and California. And they put it over to home invasion because people were robbing the drug dealers.
Wow.
You may have been a drug dealer on the street, but that's your home.
Right.
I got into a fight in the house over my money. The fight, no, it wasn't in the house, it was in the hallway, but it escalated into the house.
Okay.
So they considered that home invasion. Me not being a person that's going to take a plea because they wanted to give me 45 to 65 years.
Wow.
And I wasn't even in my 30s.
Yeah.
I just made 30s. I had 4 children. I was working a job. I got my life together, 2 or 3 cars, motorcycles, and I put a down payment on a house. A young person that actually did the right thing and got somewhat out of the business. And I said it wasn't happening. I went to trial. I was the landmark case back then. And the judge, after the trial, I put everybody through hell because I wasn't going away quietly and taking a plea. Like 99% of the cases, they want you to.
Yep.
If everybody went to trial, it would clog the system so much that they would release half the people. It wouldn't be worth it. And they, after trial, they ended up giving me the minimum mandatory sentence for truth and sentencing, which was 20 years, so 20 years and a day. But the judge stated because I had no serious criminal convictions, I may have been arrested 93 times, but only been convicted twice, and that would have been my 3rd conviction, that they were going to allow me to earn good time on it. The judge didn't know truth and sentencing was a federal mandated thing, and I can't learn it, so I got back in appeal, and they had to change the script on it. So I got to earn good time. Now, the good time was a lot. It was 2.5 days per program. You couldn't max out more than 7.5 days a month. So, and they don't take it off the top.
No.
And inside, there's every reason they can find a way to take it away from you. Stop even going to think, oh, you didn't make your 15, 20 days, so you're not getting that 2.5. You didn't do this, you're not getting that 25. If you didn't keep a B level, I did BU inside. Like another college degree.
Yeah.
All right. I worked. I did all the trade programs. So I maxed out. I volunteered. I ended up getting an educational certificate to train people for GED.
Wow.
I was giving back, but I was doing it for me. I wanted a good time, but I wanted to use my time wisely to the point where I passed out and came to. I was out cracking dawn working, went to school, went to this, went to that. I ran AA meetings. I went from serving coffee to being a chairman of every AA meeting. In MCI Norfolk, I became part of the inmate council. We governed our people. We helped the Department of Correction keep us calm to make sure they don't have to do anything but jingle keys. We had a self-government. We had a Latino, African American, Asian. We had populations. We had a music program.
Yeah.
We had cultural programs. We did things like that. I ran the AANA for years, but I was also considered an activist, and I was lugged on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
You say the wrong thing, and the wrong officers in the room, and you're in the hole, or you're detained a room apart, or doing anything.
So I want to just get a little bit into the programming. Like, why is it important to have programming in prison? Do you think that we should have more? They made, like you said, they make a lot of cuts. You were lucky enough to be there at a time where they have a lot of programs. So talk about why that could be important, not only for the people in there, but for the general public too. When the people come out, you know what I mean?
Just like I started with the Malcolm X quote: "If you give a man a chance." Being drug free is one thing, and sometimes that gives you clarity. But the Alcoholics Anonymous program and the NA program and the Cocaine Anonymous program and even the sex offender programs, every program in there is based on trying to get the person to change themselves, not society to make them change. That's like telling a kid no, or telling a kid to say, "I'm sorry."
Right.
And I say a kid because at using drugs, you emotionally stop at the level you started.
Right.
It took you 10 years. If you got high for 10 years, it takes you 25 to get out of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not just taking the drugs out of the system. You have to change your mindset. And this is what these programs do. It allows you to change your mindset for drugs and see that it's not just harming you, it's harming others. All I did was get high and party a little bit. But yeah, I robbed my mom. I wrecked her car. I had to, she was, I put people in fear.
Sometimes, yeah.
I was in the hospital, so they're worried about this person that they grew up loving and taking care of, that they have to now take care of again or be fearful of if they're in a state of mind that could harm them, not intentionally, but because their state of mind is looking for that next fix, or their state of mind puts you in a thing that now you can't go to work because, or you're so tired that you're taking care of the same child, that loving, caring person that you adore is now in such a state that is uncontrollable. The program gives you, from welding to carpentry, gives you a skill.
Yeah.
Now the outside world has to take a chance on you.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I had such educational background, and not being fearful of my past, I told every employer of everything.
Yeah.
You take your chance on me. I'm not saying I'm going to always be there. I'm a normal person. I will do the best I can for the job I have.
Yeah.
If I have 8 hours, I have 8 hours. You're not going to expect more from me than Jimmy that has no record.
Right.
Or think you have something over me because I have been to prison. I've already been there. You haven't. You're looking at someone with nothing to lose. I've been where you're afraid to go.
Yeah.
Give me the opportunity to show you. Give me the 90 days. If you don't like my performance, guess what? I bounce. But at least I got paid for that 90 days, and you see how I am. I'm not going to talk about the job I'm at, but I've driven trucks for Walmart. I've worked for BJ's for years. I've been out now January 2nd, 11 years. I have no more than a couple of parking tickets and 2 limits for speeding. I've never seen the inside of a courtroom unless I went for one of my children.
Yeah, absolutely. So you had mentioned the educational background, right? So talk about that. When did your thirst for knowledge come? It seemed like it started early. You mentioned comic books and all that stuff.
My dad.
I mean, I guess back then there was no TikTok, so if you wanted to entertain yourself, you might have had to read. But like, where does your thirst come from? You said your dad. Go ahead, talk about that.
My dad was an educator in the New York City school system. He was a part of the Board of Education, AFL-CIO. He was a union representative for them in a time where marches and stuff like that could get you killed. They could still get you killed now.
Right.
He helped teachers get in and out of problems. He helped teachers move around. Not back then, it wasn't so much sexual shit. I apologize. I don't know if I could swear.
Yeah, you can swear. That's
All
fine.
right. It wasn't so much sexual stuff. It was more so teachers standing up their children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still different now. These children are 4 times the size of a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
The children aren't being disciplined at home and don't know the setting, but the children are also not eating, not sleeping, don't have good places to live.
Mm-hmm.
Their area may be dangerous, just getting back and forth to school. And then
Right.
this is the one place you're making them stay. And you got them for like 30 minutes in a classroom trying to make one kid disrupt the class, but
Right.
a good kid, but has problems. And you can't look at that problem because you're not a social worker. You're not in that kid's house. My education came because my father said it was the only thing that no one can take from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that you can't, that can never be removed. You can squander it by wasting it.
Yeah.
When I went in, he said, use my time to the best of my ability. And he passed while I was in just after 9/11.
Damn, that's tough.
And I was cut off by all communications, and it devastated me because I thought my family forgot about me.
Mm-hmm.
But my family was having their own issues with my dad. This is a man that wrote me handwritten letters and script,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't write him back. I had to type, so he knew he would keep building my typing skills.
Oh, that was he made you type.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to type him back.
Yep.
So I didn't get off. Yeah, I'm okay. Love you.
Right.
And to a postcard, no, I had to give him a detailed letter of what my day was like. I had to send him my schoolwork.
Wow.
And then I had children. And he wrote back, did you send it to your kids? But so I had to send letters to my children and show them my grades to show I'm still educating myself. I need you to be educated when I get out.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid of being in. I was afraid of the people I left them in charge of. Not my wife,
Right.
but all the other elements that are going to be coming at my children.
Right.
And that was 4 in one house. I had other children out there,
Mm-hmm.
all right, in relationships that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was grateful enough that none of them needed welfare, needed public assistance, because I bust my tails out there, whether it was legally or illegally.
Right.
They got my money. I wasn't out buying Rolexes and diamond rings and stuff like that, or blunts. No,
Mhm.
my problem was I made money during the day and gave it to another person at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You know, to support my own habit, but family was first. My house was
important.
first.
That's very important. I feel like you had mentioned your father was educated, so I take it he was a teacher, right? I feel like nowadays that's less common. I feel like for men to be teachers, it seems like than when, at least even when I was coming up. Do you think it's important to have men in education teaching alongside women too? Because we know women are nurturers and all that stuff too, but I feel like the disciplinary figure is something that a lot of kids are lacking these days.
That's an excellent question and a question to heart, because my son, Malcolm, became an educator like his grandfather.
Yeah.
I have another daughter. My father was, before he became an educator, he was an industrial artist. So he was a machinist. I have another daughter that became that.
Wow.
All right. And right now he's in the education department. My son Malcolm, he's in Oklahoma now, but he I mean, to heart, I mean, I'm so impressed. I was to the point I was crying that
That's
he
amazing.
did something I never wanted to do because I'm not that type of person with patience.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I ended up becoming supervisors, assistant managers, stuff like that, because I got them well, because I can work and help someone direct them.
Yeah.
My father was a person that if he spoke to you, you wanted to hear more.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to look for what he was talking about and get it. He just had a way of teaching.
Yeah.
High, junior high, and high. I had him as a student for 1 week. I had to transfer out because he wouldn't call on me. And I didn't know, in a couple of months after I transferred out, like, where'd you go? I didn't want to be in your class.
Right, that's
He
good.
said, listen, if I call on you and you got the answer, they'll say I gave it to you.
Right.
If you don't get the answer, they'll say you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say I'm not teaching my own son.
Right.
And then later on, when he ran for alderman and a couple of things in the area, right, they got on him because I had a couple of accidents. I was shot, I was stabbed, I was run over by a bus. I've had a very, very traumatic life that I was away from my family members a lot. So he never let me stop being educated because even in the hospital, he bombarded me with the materials, with the books. And my mother and my father would come. They would read to me. They would make sure I kept my education up to the level, regardless I wasn't in school. And I was grateful for that. Then I was an idiot, like children are. And his discipline was, you're out.
Yeah.
You're the baby of the family. We're not going to deal with this. Your education is important. He sent me to military school.
Oh, wow.
Not far. We went to Jersey.
So at what age was this military?
I was like, let me see, 11 years old.
11 years old. So talk a little bit about, I mean, your author, the name is Manhattan, right? So is that where you grew up? Talk about New York City.
I have a crew, and they're in every book.
Okay.
I shouldn't have said that, but I have some guys I grew up with, and I based all the characters off those guys. Their mannerisms, their friends, the friendship I had. I had a crew, a bunch of friends inside, and I based some of it off of them as well. Some of the cells in Norfolk was 4-man and 6-man cells, and these were the guys you were with for the next few years, if you were lucky.
Okay.
I had a map. We procured an old New York City subway map, and it had Manhattan Island, and I circled my street on it because my street was a subway spot, and I put it up on my ceiling, and my boys nicknamed me Manhattan way back then because that was the only thing that I had.
Right.
I had my boy Joey Player, my boy Orlando was Peacemaker, Julio was Diablo, you know, and our crew was our crew, and we were all born in January, so we were all Capricorns.
That's crazy.
All right.
So what about the city itself, right? New York at that time was a very different city. Did you like growing up there? Was it dangerous? Talk a little bit about.
I left when I got hit by a bus when I was about 7 years old.
Oh, geez.
Left, came back, and everything had changed. It was back then. It was heroin, and no more than the street thugs and prostitution on the street. The prostitution stayed, changed from heroin, marijuana. My corner was like the marijuana capital of the world for that section of Manhattan. More shootouts and stuff over a couple of joints. I lost my brother the weekend before he was leaving for the service over 2 guys with some seeds in a joint. We got caught in the crossfire. I got hit by a ricochet, and my brother got hit about 16 times back and front.
Wow.
Right in front of our stoop where I grew up.
That's gotta be hard.
And I was only home for a weekend myself to see him off to the service.
Damn.
All right. And then I couldn't deal with military school no more, and I started screwing up. Came home after I got out of trouble, went back to junior high. Junior high for like a minute. I got into a gang fight, which I wasn't in. And I was just in the schoolyard, and I wore my brother's vest. My brother was, we call the gentle giant. He had autism, and but he was he had it down pat. If things were calm, he was fine. That's why my sister got him to the service. My sister V, I'll call her that. She graduated high school like 16 years old. She's been in the military. My parents signed her in. She went from military police, 2 tours in the Army, military police, transferred her DOS to Air Force, became logistics, Homeland Security, and we just retired about a year ago.
Wow.
Like I said, my mother was a nurse.
Where did the whole military thing come from? Was it, and did you have any other family members, uncles, or
my uncle Richie was in the first World War One and Two, and my brother Jetson Frank Jr. was in Vietnam.
Mm.
I have family members in the court system, the police department, all of it. I was the only screw up in the family.
Wow.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
For the youngest to have so much at my disposal, so much at my given
Yeah.
right. My parents owned the building and several others in the middle of Harlem.
Wow.
Brownstones, properties, businesses, restaurants, hardware stores, and I was the only person that wanted the fast life
Right.
because I saw the flashy money, the girls, the this, and it just overwhelmed me.
Yeah.
And partying didn't help. But I'm allergic to marijuana.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm going to Jamaica, man. They took my Obi card.
Oh man, that's crazy. But what about like the military school? Even though you didn't finish, did you learn anything from it at all?
I
Like
learned
looking back.
discipline. I learned discipline, but I got more discipline after I got back, after I got into the fight. Was caught up in the middle of a gang fight. I wasn't involved, but I was there, and I got stabbed in the chest. I stayed in the hospital for about a year and a half. And when I got back and was better, my bags were packed again, and they sent me to Catholic school. The military school I wish I was praying to go back to.
Yeah. After
because the nuns have no chain of command, no honor. They was one nun was whipping on me one time, and it started off to bleat the devil out you. I thought she said to beat the black off my ass. I could have sworn they came out of her mouth.
Oh shit!
Because they used to call me the N word on a regular basis. I was the only black kid in the school. My parents could afford to send me there, and that's what they sent me. The military school they could afford to send me to. That's what they sent me. And I was saying before, my father ran for something, and for him to be in the New York school system and to be a teacher, they said, it's kind of funny. Your kid doesn't go to any New York City schools, and they brought me up. He goes to military school. He goes to Catholic school. You don't have credibility in the New York City school system? I almost said, no, I'm not a teacher anymore. When I was a teacher, I had credibility in it. And that's when you said male teachers. That my son became a teacher overwhelmed me. My father was a teacher. People flocked to him because of his tone. He was very stern, very direct, but he wanted you to learn. He brought stuff out of you.
Yeah.
If I needed to know something, here's a book. We didn't have Google.
Right. Yeah.
I had to go to a library, and he made me know how to navigate a library.
Encyclopedias.
We had the encyclopedia. We had the African American Encyclopedia Britannica. We had National Geographics. My father had a library that would blow your mind. It would rival the Library of Harlem. He had books. Right now, my library is American History AF, African American History. I have the New Jim Crow. I have Red Summer, 1919. I have every book you can imagine that talks about African American struggles because these books are being banned everywhere.
Wow.
My father again, my education was paramount. I had to thrive. I thrived on learning. My father didn't give me a book that's why he was so devastated with the comic books. I got a manual to fix a refrigerator. Read that book. I got, a car book on the car because I had Volkswagens, and he made me go down and get the manual from you want to fix something? I'm not going to this guy. Put it out, where's that?
Wow. That's amazing.
Take that starter out, change that battery, change your oils. Not that we couldn't afford it, but you should know how. My 8-year-old daughter, I taught her how to change the tire on my trailer, which my 20-year-old daughter can't. But I bought her a car.
Right.
My job is to make sure my kids are prepared.
Yeah.
My father said to me once, I want to be able to, this sounds racist, but it's not for his time. I want to be able to drop you in Alaska and you sell an Eskimo an ice maker.
Right.
I want to be able to drop you in the middle of the Sahara Desert and you sell an Arab sand. I want to be able to drop you in the middle of Africa and you can build your house. And no matter where I went, because I saw the country, when I left college, free and clear, no criminal record, nothing, little scrapes in New York City, which again I loved. It's my home. It's where my family is. I could navigate the whole place. I could walk all of Manhattan Island. I went to other states and lived. I went to Miami, Florida. I worked for Dade County Police Department. I worked for towing services. I worked in buses. I slept. I went to a state, whether I got there by bus or car. I established myself as a woman, a place to live, a good job within a week.
Wow.
I didn't have to rob people, do anything. But again, wherever you go with you. I found the elements where I can party. I found the elements where I can do bad or hung out with them, regardless whether I did it. But then I had kids.
When does that become part of the story? When did you have your first kid?
Oof. I just started college.
Okay.
I'm a color Carlina. And this is what this book was about, Genesis. I used her as a catalyst to find her. Her name is Genesis. She was the world. And then I ended up having another child with the same young lady. She passed away of SIDS, and it devastated the girl. Me not having feelings, not ever having loss, it didn't bother me. Or there was so much loss around me, people getting shot and stabbed. I'm stepping over junkies going, or OD people going to school. That my senses were dulled. Like these children that watch, that play these games of killing zombies.
Desensitized.
It's such desensitization that it was eerie, but the young lady lost it. I had the kid for a while. I say the kid, I had Genesis for a while, but what does a young man in college know about children who is a kid himself? When my mother hated this girl only because she believed it was going to stop my education. Probably, the girl lived across the street from me for years. My mother couldn't stand her. Couldn't stand her family, couldn't stand any girl I talked to. Girls are dirty, don't worry about that. Me. Because my mother was only fixated on my education and not let me die in the streets of New York. Kill someone in the streets of New York, or go to prison on it because of the streets of New York. Then that's what Determined Sisters about. I used my mother as that queen bee protecting her cub, and she took out every drug dealer to make sure that her son survived. You know, and my first two children, one to death in Genesis, my mother assisted in the adoption, the burial of one, and the adoption of the other, to the point where, and here's some money, baby. Go see your sister. Go to California. Go somewhere. And I came back, and the girl was gone. The baby was gone, and I, being so desensitized, my mother distracted me. Went back to college, and I bounced after college. Here's a diploma. Thank you for the chain. Here's the ring. Wow.
So what was the plan? What was the plan after
plan.
college? Okay, you planned the field.
My plan was to see the world without going to the service to do it. My brother died just before he left. My sister came back again. Hey, I can get you in. Took me one of the recruiters, sat down with him, and I did everything on earth to make sure I did not pass that thing. My mother set me up with the police exam, being she was a civil servant. My father's a civil servant here. Don't worry about that. You can get 3 points here, 6 points here. We're going to make you a cop. My mother wanted me to be an EMS worker. I passed all the tests, the bells and whistles. I drove the morgue truck for a summer. I did internship. I wasn't having it. I wanted out of New York. I was going to die there or stay strung out or something.
So at what point do the substances go from partying to now, like, this is an issue? And when do you start to recognize that's an issue? Because sometimes you might be in denial. I guess talk a little bit about that.
I didn't see the issue. My partying was, I never got sick, never passed out, never had a problem until I had a seizure once.
Those are scary.
I found out the seizure was because I had marijuana. It wasn't because of all the other drugs I was
Right.
doing. It
Right.
wasn't because of that. It was because
allergy.
I'm allergic to marijuana. The THC in it will send me into convulsions.
Wow.
And of course, you see these stupid movies. They're not stupid. You see these movies. Someone gets shot or stabbed. They drag the dude to his house instead of calling an ambulance.
Yeah.
That's what my boys did.
Mm.
They took me to my house because I had a seizure and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
My mother's an EMS worker. Guess who gets the call?
Yeah.
When I was stabbed, guess who got the call? When I was shot,
Yeah.
guess who got the call? When I was hit by, my mother is terrified because she had my house on a watch.
Yeah.
And when you're a worker or an employee of New York City, you can pin your house or your thing as a place of interest in case something comes up.
Oh.
That's what they had.
Damn.
All the workers have it. All the EMS workers. So if something comes up, a call or says something like that, no disrespect to any other person out there in the general public, but you would get top priority.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So my mother got 3 of the 5 major calls directly to her line of me.
Wow. And none of those instances, you getting hurt, almost dying, getting stabbed, all shot. None of these made you reconsider maybe the life you were living or anything like that, or
No.
why not? Why do you think?
Getting shot, I was standing in front of my stoop doing minding my business.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't me
Right.
being involved.
Right.
It was me being in New York. It was my locale.
Yeah.
Me being stabbed, my locale. I was at school where I was supposed to be, on lunch, in a thing. Did marijuana? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Me being hit by a bus. I was a kid walking home from school.
Oh, yeah.
All right, some kids chased me from my Harlem Globetrotter ball. And I shouldn't have took the school because of my brother's ball. It was signed. But back they would have been.
Yeah, the Globetrotters was big.
But, well, I'm a victim of circumstance. I was a victim of, they say on a regular basis, I had a horseshoe up my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Tired. The drugs, I realized my problem with drugs was a problem. Not even that I was that guy that was in some stinking gas station bathroom, dropped my crack pipe under the sink, and I'm in a shitty toilet bowl trying to get the last rock.
Mm.
I saw the children of my neighborhood being taken by DCF because their mothers are upstairs doing the do to get their drugs, getting their knees dirty, or their fathers are slinging shit around the corner instead of watching the kids. The kids are dirty, and someone walked and reported them, and they walked up in the house.
Wow. Yeah, that's sad.
All right. My situation, when it came down to me being incarcerated, finding it or not, I still went to prison. I was dealing with someone that was a junkie.
Right.
I was clean. It didn't matter. If I'm still dealing with the same people, I'm still in the same element.
Yeah.
I was leaving that day. I was out of Massachusetts. I had all my kids. I took them from my wife. Left her with some shit.
So where did all this go down? When you come to Mass, where do you start to lay the roots down out here?
East Boston projects.
Okay.
I was actually in the Orient Heights project. I was with a girl there working at Logan Airport.
Mm-hmm.
I got married in Logan Airport on a plane, one of the newest planes, 767.
Wow.
That just came out. My wife she was my girlfriend, worked at Logan Airport in one of the cleaning services, and I worked as just under head of security in Terminal B. And we met each other, and I saw her before in East Boston grabbing some beer at Store 24. When Store 24 was down there on Maverick Project, right there, Maverick.
I'm not too familiar, man. I'm a Cambridge boy, man. I didn't get out of Cambridge for a while.
I hung out with Lynn, Revere, Chelsea. I worked from Mystic Mall to Logan Airport.
So what do you think some of the differences and I guess similarities of New York and Boston, right? Do you think there's some similarities, or what's the difference?
There's no similarities, and there's no differences.
Okay,
That's
it's
not
just its own
weird.
thing.
I mean, no, it's because I gravitated to the same areas that I left.
Right.
I lived in Cambridge for about 6, 7 months, and I'm living at the top of uh, Beacon Hill. I lived right across the street from the governor's mansion for almost a year and a half. I worked at Saks 57 movie theater as head
Wow.
usher.
Yeah.
All right, I lived in the areas, but it wasn't normal,
Right.
in my opinion. I needed the faster life. It was the hustle and bustle of
Yeah.
people. It was the same crowds that came in, but it wasn't where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the noise. I
And
loved this.
where did the work ethic seems like you're always working, right? Why was that important? Why didn't you just 100% like dive into the streets, or is that what you did as well? Or talk a little about why it was important to have like that job for you.
My father gave me work. He embedded it in me that work ethics is the best thing to your family.
Mm.
Even if you're going to be bad, be the best bad you could be.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't get caught.
No.
Don't get caught. And I was lucky enough in the actions of my unlicensed pharmaceutical distribution.
Right.
I never got caught.
I love that euphemism.
I never got caught.
Yeah.
My thing was fighting.
Yep.
I didn't like how you treated me because I was, in my sense, I'm a small person. It's like everybody bigger than me decided they wanted to take myself, or they thought I was a pushover. They were mistaken.
Yeah.
My family made sure I could defend myself. I'm the youngest of 8.
And how did they do that? Was this did they put you in boxing, or was it just something you had to learn like in the streets? The military had taught you a
Military
lot.
school gave me some of that training. Catholic school gave me some of that
Those
training.
nuns.
I had to defend myself as the only black person.
Oh
in
yeah,
Catholic
that's true.
school
Yeah.
on a regular basis. I had to defend myself from my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I had a sister that used to beat up on me on a regular basis. I had enough cousins that used to do that, and most of them were 90% of my cousins were girls. They used me as a punching bag. If I didn't defend myself, I couldn't defend them. I grew up on the streets of New York. I defended myself from Jeffrey's Point in East Boston, Orient Heights, Revere Beach, because I was the only brother there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was the only brother there, oh, you from New York? You think you tough?
Mm-hmm.
It's either 2-piece and right away,
Yeah.
or
Get that first one.
2-piece. Get my first one. I'm gonna get a stomping, but I'm gonna take you with me.
Yeah.
You're gonna remember me.
Yeah.
But I didn't fight. I laughed and joked my way out of it. Inside,
Go.
I lost it too because I became a jailhouse lawyer.
That's that knowledge kicking in.
Yeah, I read everything. I found.
So let's talk about that first time getting like locked up and actually having to sit down. You caught this case.
Well, second time being locked up.
Okay,
First
so
time being locked up.
first time in that experience.
My wife was pregnant with my third child, and I got caught on some BS. I think a knife ordinance or something, and I had to spend 6 months in jail because I violated a probation for speeding or something. I mean, it was like,
And that was out here.
and that was out here.
Okay.
And, yeah, it was in East Boston.
It was Suffolk County.
Yeah, Suffolk County.
So where did you go? You went to South Bay National Street?
I went to South. I did. They had just finished building South Bay. They had finished building a new one from Charles Street to South Bay because we went from there and all of us transferred over. I was at the beginning of all this.
So you were at the old school Charles Street drill. Talk about that because that place seems like
that place was a nightmare. It smelled. It was constant noise. It was the gangs, and I don't even remember half the names of the gangs. There were so many of them.
Right. Yeah.
There were so many that you couldn't tell, but you didn't want to be in a cell when they put 2 or 3 of them in there because what side you on? Side of mine with me. I never hung with anybody, but I hung with everybody. And I'll say the same thing inside. When they moved over to South Bay, things were a little bit more refined. You still had the old officers that came with you, that everybody's a punk, everybody's this. They wanted to treat you bad. Now listen, sir, I was already sentenced. I got my sentence, so whatever's on your mind, if you can't afford your car, your second house, your kid that did something to break it, that's your problem. That's an issue, not an issue me.
Yep.
I just want to do my time and get back to my family.
Yep.
I would be the model prison that you need to be. You can force me this, that, please just let me do this time. I stay in my cell, I do what I need, and get out. These other knuckleheads that want to fight, let them fight. You run with them. And when it came down to me I got the first time I saw my son, it was through a glass. My father had to bring him in. I never seen my father
I
put a
mean,
tear in his eye.
how did that make you feel?
That devastated me.
Hmm.
That my wife had a child without me. That I wasn't there. I was at every birth of everything. All right, maybe my first one, but I was at every birth of my children, and I missed that one, and it made me think of what I was doing.
Hmm.
I didn't stop. I overlooked it after I got out. I
Right.
got back to work. I did what I was supposed to. I did the 9 to 5 or 12 or whatever. I did what I was supposed to make sure my children survived. If I'm not right by myself, I can't help anyone else.
Hmm.
Now, after that, I got on. I did the right thing for a little bit, but got right back into the same element, but worked.
Yep.
I made sure my son and daughter got to school. I walked them there. I picked them up. Everything in between was me. And then I worked the night shift to make sure that the kids got in and out. I helped my wife cook and clean. She didn't have to do much. She worked. You know what I mean? And then there was time when she didn't need to work.
Mhm.
I handled it all because that's what you're supposed to do. You know?
Do you feel like you learned anything from that first time
No,
locked up?
absolutely
Why?
not.
Why not? You think it was
Because
the age or what?
it was short lived. I was
It
only there
wasn't
for
long
6
enough.
months.
Yeah.
I was so devastated that I went into solitude and I shut down. My father reminded me of this is where I'm going to end up. Death institutions of jail. He
Yep.
knew more about NA slang than I did, and I didn't know about it back then.
Hmm.
I cut down on my use. I cut down on the people I dealt with. You know, wasn't a person that let people up my house because of my kids.
Hmm.
I wasn't a person that really ran the street much. I did my dibble and dabbling, but I did it after hours.
Right.
My kids were sleeping. My wife was in the house. My wife didn't run the street with
Why
me.
was that important for you to not do it in front? You know, some parents, maybe not that they don't care, but they just they don't prioritize it. Why was that important for you?
Separation of church and state.
Okay.
My church was the street. My state was the house.
Hmm.
My house had to be in order. It wasn't always. TV disappear every once in a while. My wife and I got into fights and arguments because I wasn't there. She thought I was cheating. Sometimes I was. I was not the perfect man.
Hmm.
I tried to be the perfect father in front of the kids, but I was not the perfect man. I'm human.
Hmm.
And I don't mean you can run the streets and bang anything going.
Hmm.
But the elements I was dealing with, when it came down to ladies, were they give up something, you give up something.
You think a big part of that, prioritizing that, was just the knowledge that you had and you being a smart man and kind of knowing better as well on
I was
top
an
of it?
educated man, but I wasn't smart sometimes.
Okay, break that down.
My father made sure I had the education where I can learn, fix, do, go places, speak in an intelligent manner, get the job and learn it on the job.
Hmm.
I could present myself in a fashion that can
Hmm.
make sure that I'm seen, educated, before you hear me. And then I coincided with what you hear from me. I make sure my diction is perfect. I make sure if I say nigga, it was in a good way. Hey, my nigga. If I say, how are you doing today, sir?
Hmm.
I can adapt to any situation. I'm like a chameleon, and that's how you're supposed to be, whether you're a drug dealer
Right.
or you're a college professor.
You think that helped you when you ended up getting locked up and you had to do that state time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was considered a associate. Right off the rip, the
Hmm.
IPS, the inter security,
The
interperimeter
perimeter.
security, the
Yeah.
IPS. They marked me and branded me. They couldn't mark me SGG,
Yeah.
regardless that I hung with them. They
Okay.
couldn't
Right.
mark
Yeah.
me Muslim with the 5%ers,
Hmm.
regardless that I was one.
Hmm.
They couldn't mark me with the mob because I knew too many of them. They couldn't mark me with the rest of the gangbangers or anyone else or the thugs because I associated with all of them, from the
Hmm.
skinheads to the mafia, because I was educated enough to get their bail money back. I was educated enough to make sure that I navigated all of them, whether they hated each other.
Hmm.
I had them all in my AA groups and NA groups. I got busted once with about 800 stamps.
Oh,
Book,
damn.
not loose stamps,
Right.
books.
Which is currency.
Currency,
Yeah.
that was our currency.
Yep.
You know, we had to survive. I got busted with 10 different, let me see, 3 lockers in my cell. full of food. You
Yep.
don't have a job.
So I take it you had to do a little bit of a whole time. Did you end up catching any like charges while you were locked up, or just having to sit in?
And every time I went in, it was an administrative move. I went through 2 or 3 different prisons. Never went to the Supermax, but
So
I went to.
let's talk about that the journey. Where did you go first? Was it
All right.
Concord, Walpole? Talk about that and that experience for you, and especially getting a heftier sentence than the first one.
All right. My first sentence, like I said, was 6 months. I ended up doing 2.5, 3. I was so in and out. Because back then they calculated your out time as soon as you walked in the door. Plus your time that you served awaiting trial or waiting whatever your sentencing was. But when I went in and did this trial, I had like a year and a half because I demanded trial. I put them through stuff. I gave more information to my attorney on the alleged victim and everybody else in my association with them that they tried to make it a domestic.
Wow.
All right, but then she has a husband and a boyfriend.
Right. Yeah. I think it's like just within household that because maybe it was within that household.
Yeah, there was so much going
loopholes.
on. There was so many loopholes, but then, like I said, it was turned into home invasion, and they used truth and sentencing. But when I got in, I started off in Concord, was the processing center back then. So I ended up going to Concord, but when I got processed through there, they lateraled me instead of going to Norfolk. They lateraled me over to a place called SCCC, Southeastern Correctional Facility. It was an old-fashioned dungeon, prison. It was a fort.
Yeah.
I mean, the walls were literally boulders. It was not. The only new thing about that place was a cement wall they built around it. Other than that, SCCC was a decaying, disgusting, putrid. The sewer system was gone. There was still a pot of field out back that probably dated back to the 1800s.
Wow. That's gross.
All right. The cells were decrepit. We went from the cells to mods, to the cells to mods, the cells to mods until the governor, DeVar Patrick, came in and shut the place down.
So talk about the mods. That's a dorm situation. Do you have a preference between the cell or a dorm or?
Well, usually when you go into, depending on the advancement or the newness of the facility, like Norfolk had mods for new men.
Yep.
And the mods for SECC were only built because of the decay of SECC, Southeastern Correctional Facility itself. I would have finished my time there. There were 25 programs: welding, carpentry, HVAC, small repair, horticulture, landscaping. There was everything there.
It was just the building was old.
Just the buildings were old. The groundskeeping was excellent. It had an excellent weight system, maybe the size of this room, but it was moldy. It was there. People were getting sick.
What about were there any bugs, roaches, rats, anything like that?
Smoke in there. There were rats running the floor. There were cockroaches that you could probably ride that were riding the rats. All right, but it was decrepit. It was horrible, and if that didn't deter you to stay out of prison, there was something wrong with you. My problem was, which killed me, I was sentenced to 20 years, even though I flipped my case, as they say, and I got it. So I was supposed to do 20 years, no less than 20 years, no longer than 20 years in one day. No chance of parole, no chance of out, no out whatsoever. But because this judge made a statement, I got back in myself. If you look in the books, you'll see my name, no lawyer.
Yeah. Wow.
All pro se.
So at what point in your time does this happen? Does this happen relatively quick? Is this a couple years in, few years in?
2.5 years in.
2.5 years.
When they shut down SCCC and they ended up moving me to a couple of different places and then MTI Norfolk.
So was this something that you were you had your hopes up about, or was this something that like a shot in the dark? How confident were you in this getting back in front of the courthouse?
Well, I lost my appeal for release, and more so was going for appeal of sentence, commutation of sentence. I went to the governor, went to everybody, showed I had no serious criminal record, and for it to be my first major of 3 convictions total, I shouldn't have got this sentence. but they said on a Tuesday. I think so. I got them under a technicality of the verbiage of the judge saying I can earn good time. They commuted to allow me to earn good time.
So was this everything that was like, was that transcribed? Everything's transcribed in court? That was something you were able to pull up? And how do you get that transcription? Is that something that they automatically give you? You got to file motions?
I filed motions, and that's where I became the jailhouse lawyer, working on my own case. And I went in and applied to be in the law library, or just the library in general, and then lateral to the law library, not to be a librarian, to get library time, because it was limited, very small library. And each block had a certain amount of time to be there, or a couple of blocks together, being there's only room for 10, 15 people, first come, first serve, everybody else go back yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm a law clerk or a librarian, I have more access to it. And that's what I'm saying, chameleon. I put myself in a position to benefit myself. And really, that's how you got to be.
So at what point did you want to start helping other people, and why was that important for you to start, doing helping other people? Was it that you're seeing how they didn't maybe have the skills or education, or what was it?
I found out so many people couldn't read, and they were hindering my access to things. So it's better to help someone than avoid them. And when I see more and more guys that are frustrated that their lawyers aren't contacting them, frustrated that they can't get anybody, my heart softened. And that's a reality. I was more concerned about me. I was more concerned about getting back to my children, getting back to life. That didn't change me in there. It made me evolve. No different than me not using drugs. I walked into prison system. I walked into the situation that put me in there clean.
So how did you get clean? Were you into the AA at that point, or was that something that came once you started to do your time in the program? And how did you get clean? You just cold turkey?
No, I like I said, I saw the people around me losing their children, and I spoke to a brother-in-law of mine. He went to Alcoholics Anonymous. He used heroin on a regular basis. He went to NA meetings. I was very close with him and his family. I watched his daughters, me and him and his wife, and my wife, his sister. We used to play cards to all hours of the night and party. Drink coffee and play spades and chill out. But it kept him and I in the home.
Right.
The girls knew if we got let's get some spades going. Spades.
Yeah.
Let's
keep you out of trouble.
The girls knew what would control us.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna hang out. We could cook some pizza, and I mean, it made a thing of it. And one day I said, I saw this problem. I had to leave my area. I moved in with him for a little bit. My wife and I and the kids, and we said, and his kids, and he took me to a meeting. And the only way I would go, because the girls didn't trust us, we had to take our kids with us. So in their pajamas, my son, in his pajamas, I took him to an AA meeting with him, with me. He took his daughter in their pajamas, and he made me speak, and I wasn't 30 days sober. And it overwhelmed me. But he himself couldn't stay clean for 30 days. He died of a drug overdose.
Wow. How did that make you feel? If you're looking at somebody took you in, and you're like, if he can't do it, did you feel hopeful? Or
the problem was, it didn't happen until I was released.
Oh, okay.
He gave me a job. He offered me 50% of his business. He helped me get on my feet while I was going to school for tractor trailer. I went to, when I got out, that's another funny story. When I got out, my youngest son was 8 months old when I walked in the door of prison. He knew me through prison, and then all things stopped because my father passed away.
Yeah.
My father used to come from New York, grab all my kids, bring them to see me, and take them back, buy them clothes, do all the things that, I was supposed to do, and then go back to New York. Yeah. And when my father passed away, it stopped.
Talk about how you deal with that, like emotionally in prison. Did did it not seem real, or did it because you communicated with him a lot? And did they let you see him, or talk about that, like dealing with that?
They wouldn't allow me to go to the funeral. My mother actually put up a piece of property that was worth well over $1 million
Damn.
as bond to get me transported from A to B to just even his wake or to a viewing. They said I was under federal guidelines and they wasn't leaving the state. My mother tried to get me transferred to a New York City prison, but it was going to be Sing Sing. They were going to send me the highest level.
Mm. You think that was like a move, like we'll show him kind of deal, because you were trying to get out of there, that they were going to put you in the highest security because you were coming from where, the medium, right?
They didn't want Massachusetts problems. If I was trying to transfer out and everybody was putting money into it and they were going to do out of the way, and they're just saying, this is just for, this kid's going to transfer prison for the rest of his life to see one person. It's my father. I just said, my mother, I'm not going to a higher prison. People die there.
Yeah.
I had a cousin that was there that was fighting every day, and he's crazy.
Yeah.
And he died there 3 days before he was supposed to leave.
Wow. And since Sing Sing?
And Sing Sing. I got a friend there that was out while that I came out to. He got into a fight a couple of years ago, about 2.5 years ago, got into a fight with a kid. The kid fell back, died. He's doing 12 to 15 now.
Wow.
So
you definitely would have gotten some sort of trouble. You wouldn't have been able to probably do the programming that you were doing and all that as well.
I would have died. I would have killed myself. I would have killed somebody. Or somebody would have killed me. I'd be in the rest of my life defending myself. I'd be in the rest of my life strung out. I would be coming out of there in a box. And that's just the people that are in there for short term. I had 20 years.
Jeez.
And even though time had passed, it doesn't matter. That's what my sentence would say. And in most prisons, that's why they say anything over 15 is your life, because they don't expect you to survive more than 5 or 6.
All right. So talk about when you finally got the news that you would go back into the courts and how that went down. Well, where were you at that point?
I was already in Norfolk because I had put all the appeals in, but I had put so many cases in. I put appeal because they not only gave me the 20 years in a day, but they strapped a 5-year probation on top of it.
On top of that, jeez.
All right. So I filed motions to eliminate my probation fees, eliminate my probation restrictions, eliminate my reign of terror for once I got out, that they would have nothing over me. And they told me, I guess they kept rubber stamping it because I sent so many speedy trials in, and there were other cases that they started rubber stamping my stuff.
So explain that. I'm not aware what that means.
All right.
Rubber stamping.
Rubber stamping means so much information of yours comes into the court on a particular case or multiple cases that you're filing, and that's what I suggest everyone does. Is if you're filing a case, no different than your charges. When the average person gets arrested for robbery, you still get resisting arrest, whether you're in the court or not. You still get fleeing a scene. You still get possession of this, holding that, armed robbery in daytime. They'll give you 25 charges for your one, and hope they convict your one, and they statutory all the rest, guilty filed, which means they can still give you time on all those, but they only focus on the one, a conviction. With the courts, is the same way. When you file a motion, file on every particular issue. And if they find one that they feel is legitimate, they rubber stamp all the rest. And then they push it up to the next level saying, we find that legitimate, these could be, you figure it out. And because so many of them went in at the same time, they rubber stamped it. When I got out, my probation fees were null and void. The probation guy was like, what? You don't pay fees to us? No. My victim witness fee erased. My monitoring fee, leg monitor, my restrictions of where I can work, where I can come, where I can go, removed. He was pissed off. So then I started filing motions once my release was they changed it over that I won the appeal, that they commuted my sentence to earn good time and dropped me down.
So how did you find that out? In court, in the mail, how's that work?
They brought me into court saying that the judge allowed I was like a 20-minute thing for a 24-hour, it felt like a 12-hour ride, chain
Yeah, yeah.
shackled for a nasty ass cheese sandwich,
You know,
to say, motion granted, we're going to commute your sentence.
talking to me.
Yeah, I thought I was getting out. I thought, they say, really? To a lesser sentence.
They
I
had a
mean,
pause for
like
effect.
they were guys in the back that just started thinking, don't you had it. Almost like your age you had me.
Hey,
They're right,
still
because
good news though.
it was better news than I could imagine, because it allowed all the other parts of the cases that I filed to be agreed to as well. We don't think you should be restricted. We don't think the case was rushed. Even though you went to trial, there were anomalies that were withheld. No serious information, no. The victim's criminal history was denied access to, but she was a common streetwalker. She lost her children 7 to 8 times. She let the cops walk up into her house and get high. She was an informant.
Wow.
She was setting up people left and right.
She got paid.
She called me. She called me to come pick up money and to tell me, I don't have it. I would have never. I was leaving the state with my children. I just bought a house for my ex-wife to leave me alone. I had divorced my ex-wife and was already remarried and taking my children and leaving. My children stayed in New York for a year and a half before my ex-wife got them back.
Right.
So I stopped fighting.
Damn. So talk about when you went back after hearing the good news. You start to change your mind, start doing time a little bit more differently, start preparing now for your release.
I was listening to my father again. Not that I wasn't listening to him, but I took his words more seriously. The paper he sent me about when Malcolm X's quote, use my time wisely. Then I went into writing. I said, well, if I'm going to get out, now I really have to use these programs to do it. I didn't realize that the programs were so limited in what they give you, but it kept me so occupied.
Yeah.
And that's what the people inside need. I'm not going to say the inmates. I'm not going to say the prisoners. They're not. They're people.
Yeah.
I'm a human being. I did something wrong within the eyes of the law. That doesn't change that I'm not a human anymore. But they want you to be isolated. They want you to be controlled so you come back. And now the industrial engineering system is not an incarceration system. It's a body pit. And the more bodies they have in it, the better off it is for their money, because they get paid for the individual regardless of any services. They don't have to give you services. They want to make sure you're in a bed. You get a TV or this or that, they're satisfied. You occupy a bed that they're getting paid for. Back then, there was a rehabilitation system. There was a craft system to give you the opportunity to have a skill when you walked out. Your GED was key to getting a job. It may not be as much now, but it still is in a sense. If you can't read, you're useless. You're useless. They don't want you pouring ammonia in with something else that can kill you or someone else. They don't want you running a machine that says this is a version you push forward and you destroy their product. They don't want you operating a vehicle on the highway, because we had tractor trailer training in there for at least to get the test done, the written test, so you can go get your CDL.
Wow.
They prepared you for it. I helped people in the GED because I went into the special education to prepare people for the GED, because people needed help. They needed help, and I couldn't, in good conscience, with my father the way he is with me, not utilize what I had and give something back, even if it may seem like brownie points somewhere else. But, and I say that to my children, brownie points for when you get in trouble. I'll remember the time you did something good. Do something good now, because you did something bad I didn't catch yet. And I'll kind of overlook it, or at least won't give you such a hard time, because you did it. All right. I'm gonna let you get out of trouble with your mom coming with me. Now you're gonna work.
There you go.
My kids know how to use tools, as my father made sure I did. He sent me to his friends that were plumbers, carpenters, masons, I may have done the grunt work and maybe just got lunch and maybe $10, $15 when they got 2 or 3,000,
Mm-hmm.
but I learned the skill.
Yeah, it's
I'm
important.
a licensed mason.
Right. Those certificates are big with the state.
Not even, and even the ones I got inside, my welding license I keep up.
Oh, yeah.
I have a CDL license, doubles,
Right.
triples, and tankers, because I went to school as soon as I got out. 3 days after I got out, I signed up for doing a tractor trailer.
Right.
My other son, the one I didn't get to know,
Mm-hmm.
just turned 18 years old. He just turned 18 years old.
Wow.
He was 8 months old. I did 90% of my time and didn't know my son. I went to tractor school with him. We went, hey, want to go?
That's cool.
I'll go with
Yeah,
you.
that's
Man. What's up? We both graduated with honors.
so you got kids that are teachers and all that. Did all of your kids manage to stay out of trouble? And if not, like, how did you? I already know the answer to that. But
3 of them from this one wife did. They got into their scuffs. They got into their BS.
So how did you start to feel as the father when you starting to feel now that, because I feel like if your kids can learn from your mistakes, and it's like, maybe it's a little worth it. I had to sit here for a while, but then you start to hear they're getting in trouble and all that. I mean, how'd you start to feel about that in yourself, in your role?
And my role, because I was inside, was devastating.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I wanted them to be strong. I can't shield them from everything as my parents tried to shield me.
Right.
The streets were in me.
Mm-hmm.
I had brothers and sisters that were a part of the streets in one way or another. They were in society. I grew up in one of the most dangerous cities in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And New York was back then was no different than Beirut.
Yeah.
You can die walking out of your house, or you can die in your house with a stray bullet coming through your window. On your way to work, on your way to school.
Perfectly innocent.
And I navigated that and got a high school diploma and a college degree and left because I wanted to leave at my own choice.
Mm-hmm.
The girls that I was a part of didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
That was their home.
Yeah.
And that's when I had to bounce. Now with my children, only one of them scared me because I got a letter one day. Now I got pictures of a newspaper. I didn't really play dominoes with the boys, but to avoid being considered stuck up, or antisocial, or better than.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was playing dominoes one day with the boys or something like that, and a newspaper gets thrown on the table. It says like father, like son.
Wow. That was the headline?
Yeah. Me and my son.
Yeah.
My son Mark Jr., Latin Kings and all this stuff. And I'm like, Latin Kings, isn't that in California? They out here? Jesus Christ, I had such an isolated life inside. No computers, not much TV other than BS cable system. So they controlled what you did, your education. I didn't even learn about computers until a year and a half, 2 years before my release. They weren't allowing me because the sentences are too long. You don't need stuff like that. I had to fight. My son and I, Mark Jr., you said whole time, did I get in trouble? Administrative restructuring, they called it, because I got accused of inciting a riot too many times. I was an associate. So they say I was the one inciting riots within my NA and AA, stoppages, stopping buying food because the guards the canteen was owned by the guards. So if I tell the employees, if you don't have a problem with food and they're not giving you enough, stop buying it. These fools stopped buying it. They didn't buy a purchase for, I think, 2 cycles. Just
they don't like that when you start organizing.
I was bounced. I ran for inmate council to be chairman of inmate council. They set me up.
Damn.
I sat 287 days, 4 hours, a few minutes in the hole.
Damn. What was the worst part about being in the hole for that long, man?
Nothing.
Because
I was left alone.
Oh, you like
I had access to the law library because no one else was using it.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed in the law library. There was a box and a cage, but I had access to the books. I learned about the computer system. I got to know my son.
Yeah.
My son was in the hole in Whirlpool.
With
Yes. He wrote me a letter one day, man, I'm in the box. Like, guess what? I'm in the box too. I'm in the box. We had more communications in that 287 days than we had my whole incarceration.
did they let y'all? 'Cause my mom was in framing him. They let us write each other, and we had to get it approved and all that. They let y'all.
Yeah, because
You want me to sit down, man?
hey, whenever you're ready. Oh my God, here we go. Well, this is the son that I wanted to go to Penn State, and he came to the Penn State Penn.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But my son Mark, right here. This is that. You know, it's like he came out.
He looked familiar to the.
This is the trip. When I came out, I was pumped like this, and then I went back to normal. This gentleman right here is. I mean, your form is excellent. Like I said, I watched the other ones, and I was amazed when I saw my son on here. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
100 gangsters.
So are you proud of him now? As far as
I've always been proud of him. Mm-hmm. I wish he didn't go some of the route I went, because when that newspaper came up, like father like son, he gets arrested behind the cheese, man. This is what I used to. That I may have associated with at one time.
It's crazy.
These are the guys that called me because I was the only brother there. Mm-hmm. My brother-in-law Michael, who passed away of an overdose. His grandfather, his great grandfather. Yeah. No, Patsy's your great uncle, your uncle. But his great grandfather on my wife's side, he was a gangster. Mm-hmm. And I used to get sent to get my brother-in-law Michael, my wife's brother, out of trouble, or go help him get from A to B safely. Absolutely. Because he was a user. And I was patient.
Aren't we all?
Come on, we all. But listen, I grew up in it was the marijuana era that I was sick of, and I got sick over, but I grew up in the crack era. Mm-hmm.
I grew up in that shit too.
You grew up at the end of it. Well, I don't even know.
I got my shirt caught in the door.
right. But I tried not to use it around my children, but I was still high when I was with them. Yeah. I made sure they got back and forth to school, A to B. Mm-hmm. Listen, I got them up. I got them dressed. I made sure they were clean. They were bad.
One thing my mother always said, right, about this gentleman here, you know how they
yeah, we're fighters.
Before
you might have to grab the mic though, too, just to.
We're gonna put that between us.
We're gonna split it.
Yeah, there we go. Make sure we get the right.
One thing I say about this gentleman, right, because it's my pops, yo. I'm more busy. I'm more man. I know what's going on here.
It's not his first time, yeah.
It's not my first rodeo here. I bought 100 gangsters. This guy right here, this is the one. This is the, you know, from his own broth.
It's the original gangster.
This is the guy who held down 149 in St. Nick and Sugar Hill. Mm-hmm. How low can you go? Yeah. Oh, Diablo, Daryl, Jason, all my big cousins that raised me, he raised them. Shout out to True, shout out to Gritty, shout out to everybody. 149, my grandma. Like, this dude really paved the way for a lot of G's. So to bring him up here means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. I can only sit back and hold my daddy for so long before I had to come say something. But it's about him. Yep. But one thing I could say though, my mom always said this. He said, "Yo, if your dad was there, he would have been there." Mm-hmm. If he didn't make the decision to go do that time, or, you know, act on his impulse or whatever, you know, when the niggas getting high, whatever it was, he'd have been there. One thing I give him is he was there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and even though we, you know, we got closer during the correspondence of inmate to inmate, I built more. I'd rather had been that, because my brothers and sisters wasn't fucking with him. Mm. And I was the one that pushed it in their head. I pinned it in their head. Like, yo, listen, picture me coming out of my kids not fucking with me.
Right.
And they thought about it. They're like, damn, that makes sense, bro. And now look, how
Yeah.
locked in we are.
So
Absolutely. Come
was he always trying
this
to?
guy.
Was he always trying to push the education too on you? Like
this guy, right here, you don't need an encyclopedia. Just chill with him.
right.
When I first went back to the hood, when I went to 149 in Harlem, they said you keep hanging with him, you gonna learn a lot.
Even by accident.
Yeah, he don't fuck around. One thing about him is that his mother and father put him in college. They put him through all that.
Yeah.
They made sure he was a brainiac. That's why I'm such a nerd too. I'm a nerd too. And I get it from the genetics. It's the genetics passed down.
Yes.
When I was in the prison, all I did was study annual reports, quarterly reports, the ins and outs of the DOC, how they recruit informants, the par boss.
How the gears work,
Listen,
if they will grind you.
I'm trying to tell you, bro, like this gentleman here has a lot of knowledge, especially for y'all young brothers. And I know you gotta be like, oh, dudes be washed up. Nah, brother. The first movie he ever made me watch was Menace to Society. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. And then right after each movie, when I was about, 7 years old, he said, don't never let nobody judge you for the color of your skin. Color was not something that was taught in my house. And I don't teach it in my house.
Listen, if
Know
you're
what
going
I'm
to hate me, listen, you may hate me for the color of my skin, but watch, give me 5 minutes. I'll give you 100 other reasons to hate me.
Right.
Or be my friend. I'd rather have more friends than
The one thing you don't have any control. Nobody has to be born here. Nobody has to be brought here. If you're gonna not like somebody for something, like you said, don't like me for my choices or the people I hang out with. But whatever. It's just
that was the thing when it came down to being inside. They considered me, they branded me immediately as an associate because I can walk up to anyone and not get jumped. I can walk up to every side, everyone that was in there, from the gangsters, from the hood rats, from the gays, the whatever, the homo thugs. I mean, Aryan Nation. I can walk up there and they may say, even the Italians, all right, William, you're going to get my boy out. Listen, yes, sir, you got that. But the thing was, I had no gripe with nobody.
Same thing with me.
No gripes.
And
Listen,
and when I said this dude was my pops, I remember this dude, Louis Melendez, shout out to him.
Oh, wow.
We was in Superior Court, and he was like, your dad's Mark Brown? I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. He's like, yo, bro. He started crying.
Really?
Because this dude got him out. Dude was doing a dude.
I will find it.
He got him out, he got him out of prison.
That's
after 4 years of serving like a 20 something year sentence.
Yeah.
For
That's amazing.
And he got him out. This dude is like,
so that gotta make you feel purposeful, bro, though, too, right? Did you feel the sense of purpose when you when something like that happens?
That said, remember, use your time. I'm adamant about if I can do something for you that I can't even do for myself, yours is getting done. But I get to learn from yours.
Right.
Listen, I'm
a win-win situation.
I'm doing it totally for you.
Yeah.
I'm doing something for you, but the knowledge I'm getting researching your stuff is helping me.
Right.
Because it's going to help me help 25 other people.
Right.
And that's why they branded me the associate.
Once you change the law, it's like he changed the law but couldn't get himself up. Shout out to TG.
Oh, yeah.
Because TG is going through that right now. Big shout out to TG, man. You know what I'm saying? He's another Tony Gaskins. He's helping everyone get out. I know you probably heard it. Right?
I changed.
You know TG.
I don't know personally. I've heard
But
I've heard the name down.
Tony Gaskins. Big shout out to you. I'm talking to you. If you ever hear this, bro, big shout out to you. He helped probably 2,000 inmates that weren't convicts get out, and he can't even flip his own case.
Yeah.
That's this dude right here. He started that.
Yeah.
Like the legal beagle shit, he's like the foundation of that shit. Like I've had people, even myself, I've gotten people out of prison. You've seen people that I was up here with that I've gotten out, and it sucks when you can't. It's like you can give everyone advice, but you can't take your own.
Yeah,
At that
makes
point,
sense. Yep.
Because it's law, man, and the law of Massachusetts, man, it's just
That's why
it's a shifty law. It's a shifty law.
Yeah, 90%. I know it may be hard. Listen, you're going to do the same time, but go into trial and make sure every bell, every whistle it can be pulled. Everything can be pulled later on.
Yeah.
And you put them through hell to do it. Because if that DA is not just rubber stamping and that BS about being in the hallways and navigating phone calls back and forth, if your lawyer wants to do that, get rid of them. You can do it yourself. because I don't need you to negotiate for me. I need you to work for me. This is not your thing, because if lawyers had to do a piece of your time, it'd be a whole different thing.
Yeah.
If a lawyer said,
Had to
"I
do
want
it just a
someone to
day
do
of it.
that."
Right.
But we were talking about us being together and the time that may have changed me. It was this time with him and us getting back together. No different was the time with my son, spending that year and a half in the tractor trailer school. They were calling him Junior when they found out both of us.
Yeah.
When they found out we were fathers.
Me back to DDU the second time, they was like, "Wait a minute, Mark Brown's your son? You know, your dad?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "That's crazy." They're like, "Yo, that's Brown's kid." They went and stopped. We went to Starbucks. Let me keep it cool. They went to Starbucks, got me lunch. Like, this guy got pulled. This guy got pulled. You heard?
Yeah.
I helped some of the officers, man, get their kids out of shit.
Wow.
Because it's about helping, and like I said, those brownie points paid off. It kept people off my ass.
Like, you can't help if you, like you said, you needed that knowledge to help people, right? You could try to help somebody all you want, but if you don't have the knowledge, then you're not gonna be able to.
You know what he slacked on, Bobby? He slacked on me taking care of this child support shit. I still don't know how to do it.
Oh, okay.
Them motherfuckers. Let's break it down for. Break it down for.
Listen, I did help myself. They tried to charge me with 4 children for child support inside, where they were going to freeze my account. It was going to cost at least, even at all right, I used a law called it was an act of it was called Debtors Act, Act 714 of 12, Section 3. You can't put someone in jail for a debt that they're in jail for, that they're unable to pay, that'll accumulate past it.
What, a day the most?
If you're lucky.
My dad's built up himself, so
if you uses the Debtors Act law. And all he has to do is cite a Debtors Act law. He can have his whole thing eliminated.
There was something, I think my mom had to sign something for him, and she did something that
this motherfucker got stopped, right? This is how crazy it was. We got the same name.
Yeah.
We got the same
thing. I got my name on my license plate, so it says Lucky B. So was it Santino's?
No, Santapio.
Santapio. So I just left him, and I pulled in the Santapio. So I parked right in front, and it says Marky B on my Hummer. I got a Hummer 3, a small one. All right, and I pulled in, took my wife and girlfriend out to eat, and I didn't start to notice cops are in there. I said, I haven't been here in a while, but I can tell that's a cop.
Right. Yeah.
So we eat. Let me bounce. I don't hang out in these bars. I come to see my son.
Wow.
And I'm driving off, and all of a sudden,
Off the plate.
I get a call. Yo, you in these bars still eating? Yeah, I'm just gonna run down, and I just ate. I'm leaving. Why? What's wrong? I was gonna go down to the beach for a minute, but what's wrong? And they ran my name and license plate and Mark Brown. He's not supposed to have a car.
Oh, shit.
So they ran up. They ran down.
Ran the database.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
My
bro.
PO called me. He was like, my PO called me. He's like, "What you do? You was on Chelsea Street earlier?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then remember when I was on the run? Oh my! And they came to New Hampshire. The Massachusetts police came to his state police came to his house, and they said, they said, "This isn't Massachusetts. This is New Hampshire. Y'all can stay at the gate." They said, "Is your name such and such?" Yes. "Is your name? You know this?" Yes. Yeah. Well, y'all ain't coming on my shit.
The thing about it,
I wasn't even on the run yet, but they already had ran his shit. You feel me?
I know most of the cops up there because one, I made the 1%. I'm the only black person in my town.
So
I own my property. I own all the vehicles that have my name on them because I don't want to be mistaken for someone else. Listen, you pull up on a car, even back in the day, the smart system has your picture, your this, your that. So in a cop asks them, whose vehicle is this bullshit? You ran my plate. You know who the hell you walking up on.
Being named after this guy. That's why I named my
No
son
different than it says. No different. I got a Mark Junior. So this is the thing. So his wife has just made to the top of the food chain, and I got a third of me. But us getting to know each other, even whether it was in the hole or not, was the greatest thing. Me getting to know a son that I didn't know he was 8 months old when I walked in, other than a few pictures and a few times that my father brought him up. I didn't know him. My children being upset with me.
Yeah, my youngest brother, he gave up. He was like, yo, I don't want to fuck with this nigga. I'm like, yo, check this out. If it's me and my kids, and you've been around my kids giving up on me, how would you feel? And he thought about it. He reached out. So on the day when he got out, he was there.
Oh,
and then it's so deep. And it's so, I was in prison. I was the back.
But my children.
But the day he got out, tell me why the victim in his case dies.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about that.
All right. I'm released. They had to push up my release date. I'm eating. They took me to McDonald's, Mickey D's. They took me everywhere, and everybody thought I was gonna get sick. Oh hell no! I had a friend inside that took care of me and made sure I had good clothes, good stuff. I didn't dress in sweats. I dressed in pants and shirts.
Nice.
I was crisp the whole time. All right, and I had all my stuff, but they made sure I ate well. And when I got out, I ate. I saw everything. I am out maybe 45 minutes.
Damn.
I called him.
Yeah.
And he goes, as soon as I talked to him, he said, guess who died?
I'm getting
such and such surface. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. Listen, I didn't get a regular PO. I got the chief.
Oh, the chief.
I'm saying like, why am I not just getting someone that's cool? You know what I mean? Some rookie or something.
That's how you got exonerated, though.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, because I was there. I said, no, I'm right here. They kept taking pictures.
He was still filing shit. On his way out the door.
I got to know so many court clerks to the point where they were sending me birthday cards. Hey, what's going on? Happy Merry Christmas. I'm going on vacation, so send it to Sarah instead of me. All right, we'll get your stuff in through. Okay, I got a familiarity with these people at the court system that I found so much work that they knew me and they knew my writing. You sent in something for so and so, right? We're gonna make sure we put that through really quick before we get it back to him. We know he must be in trouble. But the day I got out, she died. It's not so much the victim, but she was the only person that testified against me.
Wow.
Everybody else didn't. Everybody else had amnesia. I'm sorry, I was that type of person at that time. I was, like I said.
Why? That shit wasn't the shit they were talking about wasn't true.
I
read the case.
I was gonna say, how did you do with the probation and having to deal with the chief of probation? Did you have?
No, when I went in, I thought it was gonna be a regular PO, some smuck and whatnot, and I walk in. No, you gotta go in that room right here. Wait right here. This for a probation officer. She's using some little desk with a cubicle.
Yep.
Walks in. Older gentleman, hi, I'm so and so. I'm the chief probation officer. I was told to handle your case personally.
Wow.
Well, we hear that the victim has passed away. We still need a rundown of where you were from the time you left until the time you. I said I was with my children.
Wow.
They gave me a phone. My mother. And them gave me
I'm calling from the jail.
Right, yep.
That's proof that
I was on
didn't even leave the fucking camp.
Damn.
He was on the camp.
Listen, I was still on the premises of the facility to the point where they were there at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
I called at 9.
Yeah, they call it 9, but at 6 o'clock in the morning, my kids were on the premises waiting for me, and I wasn't supposed to be. Well, you might get out, 2, 3 o'clock. I said, I got people coming.
Right. Yep.
All right, all my stuff was shipped out a week ago. I have the clothes on my back and maybe a couple of things. They're coming. to get me. And they got all some phone call came. Well, we got like a 2 or 3 carloads of people waiting out here. Every officer that knew me was there that day. Expected me to say, go F yourself or sit. And I got one thing to say to you. I've always wanted to say. You have a nice life. You'll never see me again. I shook all their hands, and a lot of them shook my hand. Here's a number to call in case you need a job.
Wow.
Listen, I was going back to New York. New York didn't want me.
And no violations, anything? What was it still the 5 years? Did you not violate the probation?
No, check this out.
Early termination.
He got that shit tucking off early.
I got it terminated. Within 24 hours of me being released, I filed motions with the probation department that didn't want to let me go. I was the best probation person to have. All they had to do was see me once a month. The guy used to just drive past the house. And I was new in tractor trailer. I was working a job.
Wow.
I was doing construction. I was going back to AA and NA again.
Next.
Yeah, next.
Yeah.
With my son.
School.
One of my youngest.
All the people there, they still send me letters. They want.
Oh, sorry.
He failed twice.
I failed 4 times. There's no cop is sitting behind me. The state trooper.
Of course.
He failed a CDL 4. I thought it was twice.
No, I failed. No, the CD, the test I passed was actually it was one fucking turn. The cop is like, he's standing in this line. All I see is him in the mirror. The cop behind me.
Started to get anxiety, probably.
Yes. And I either went past the line and come up to the line or something like that. And I was, it did cost me almost $600.
What's been the favorite part about reconnecting, man, with your son?
Not just my son, all my kids.
All of
I
them.
get upset with them from time to time because
We get
they
upset
don't
with you,
listen.
too.
Because I moved on. I love them, but if they expected me to just hold the grandkids and rock in the corner and fade away, that wasn't happening. The girl, yes, you did. Y'all wanted me. Well, you weren't out yet, and I was running around making sure your kids was all right, and his big wife had his kids all right. It was no problem with the kids.
He came out getting people pregnant.
Yeah, all right. Yes, I did get right back in. Yes, I did get right back in the mix. I had a few more children on the way out. I got married a couple of times. Like I said, my wife and girlfriend are in the next room, and one of my younger sons are right there. When I got out, I took it like one of my daughters wanted me to. I thought, sit in a rocking chair. She wouldn't let me leave the fucking house. She was like, my grandma said, you're not going nowhere. And I thought,
he was already in prison. He trying to do that.
Yes.
Grandma's wishes as well. She never told me that, though.
But I had to get up. I moved out, and then I got my probation flipped. I got remarried.
He was getting his life together.
I got
got books out and all.
He was getting. The thing is that I get it now since I've been out. Is like you got to give a brother that's coming home from that type of time 10 and plus is like, you got to give a brother some time to get their self to readjust. You know what? 11 years.
11 years now, and the most I have is a speed.
So he needs another 9 years to actually still
make up for it.
To make up.
Yes, within 20. All right, I was gonna say within 24 hours because my girlfriend that became my wife that used to hook up way back then. I'm sorry, she was in the wings. With your moms, I'm gonna be honest. All right, because I have a child with her that's around the same age as some other kids, and we got back together. I got in a car one day. I had no license. I had about 5 or 6 permits. I had my CDL. I had to get all my permits back because there were excise taxes, and every time I did get in trouble, I used to give the car to whatever girl it was and walk away from it. But there were excise taxes, and I had thousands and thousands of dollars. I went to all the courts and had them reduced down. They said, I want the cop that gave the ticket. They couldn't produce them. Went clean. I learned a lot. Nice. I want to go to trial. What? Like 20 years ago. We can't find that. That's not my problem.
Exactly.
You're holding me to account for that.
Right.
All right. So I got almost everything, maybe $20,000-$30,000 worth of tickets and fines and stuff like that, reduced down to pennies, to dismissed, to nothing.
Yeah.
I got my girl's car one day. I'm driving along. I dropped her off at work. Said, "Let me borrow your car. I'm just gonna run around a little bit." All right. Fucking phone rings. I thought someone was in the car. I almost got into an accident. I didn't realize cars talked and.
Oh yeah.
I thought someone was in my
Technology.
I thought someone was in my back seat.
That's crazy.
All right. I thought someone was in my back seat. I was terrified. I almost ran off the road.
Wow.
And that made me stop.
There goes that horseshoe again, right?
Yeah. And that made me stop and get up with the technology. And I never looked back since.
Absolutely, man.
And then the tractor trailer stuff and the monitor. And I made sure I had a GPS now. I'm not going on my mind anymore because they built and changed a whole bunch of new roads. But getting to know my kids was the most important thing.
Right.
I got to know my grandchildren. That called me granddad.
Yeah.
I didn't never think I'd have kids, let alone grandchildren, let alone be alive this long. The life expectancy in New York is about 20.
So what are you looking forward to the most now moving forward with your freedom?
I'm 11 years out. I'm well over almost 40 years clean and sober. Because I could have resulted back and kicked back in there and did the talk about homebrew and God knows what. I did.
Stuff I did.
Which upset me, but he had his own path, I had mine. And man, they were betting on me going back. Most of the people in my life, and I'm not saying my kids, but a lot of my ex-girls. I had a lot of them. Every time I drove up on my motorcycle, as soon as I got back out, I got my motorcycle back. All right, come on, granddad's a cool granddad.
Right in my heart.
The motorcycle.
You know why? I got my motorcycle. I got all the bells, whistles, and toys that I left. So nothing really changed except for I lost time. And maybe that saved my life because I got a second chance at my kids, a second chance at grandchildren, a second chance at having more kids, getting back to some of my old things, getting my babies the books. They're my babies too. To the world. Yeah. What happened then it made me evolve, but it didn't change the person I was. It made me grow to be a better person now.
And I remember you had said too, you were looking to do maybe something similar to what I'm doing, right? Talk a little bit about that.
I have not a theory. I have all the equipment set up. I've set up my office. I'm ready to do a podcast for dads because I was one that went through divorce, went through child custody, went through visitations, even to today with some of my baby mamas. And it's not to down women. There's plenty of women shows out there from How to Get a Man to navigating the court system. I want one for men.
Yeah.
I want to be able to advocate for us to be better. And for the guys that are doing the right thing. If you're paying the child support, but she won't let you see the kids. If you're doing the right thing, but unfortunately you moved on to another woman, now you can't see the kids. If you're doing the right things, I want you to talk about the good you're doing. Not your bad baby mama.
Right. Yeah.
I don't need you to bash her. She's still a baby's mama. I know, unfortunately, women train children to hate the fathers, but we are the bad guys. Right. If something goes wrong, I'm going to tell your father. Right. If we come in, we got to be the discipline because mom wants to the boo-boos. I want to be the hero. My dad was the only hero in my life.
Wow.
He was the only one. My dad dressed in a suit. He had a briefcase. He did manly things. If you want to look at it, he was a force, but my mother ran the house. Right. That's the truth. And unfortunately, women want to compete with men, and you can't have it. There's only one number one. There's not two ones, and that makes it 11.
Right. Yeah. That makes it.
I'm not saying you're supposed to take it from men, but you do have to have someone that makes a final decision. If you're the one woman in the house, run the house. But if there's a partner, there has to be one chain of command.
And it has to be, I feel like, known between both parties, like who, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm just saying, listen, you run the house, you got that. But if I'm the final decision, no is no. If I'm the final decision for yes for my kids, you don't override me. Just like I shouldn't
Right.
override you. We'll
Right, right.
discuss it.
Yep.
Now, but if you want me to come in and be the bad guy, because that's all fathers are,
Yep.
we make you go to bed. We make you wash your hair. We make you do your homework. I wait till I tell your father. Now I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be. I don't want to be bad guy.
I mean, most villains in movies are men, right? I mean,
but I want it's called Manhattan Dads.
oh, nice.
Manhattan Dad. I'm Manhattan, and all I want to do is discuss what dads do. If you're a good
That's
dad,
dope.
I've been
So
one.
you want to
I've
highlight
been
that?
the best one.
I'm from Boston, yo.
You got to highlight
Right?
that. You came in
Might
fully
be.
New York out over here.
Heavy in Manhattan, but I'm from Boston.
But this kid was raised
Yeah.
with my family in 149th Street, St. Nicholas Avenue. If the cops came into my block, they came 4 deep in a car, 8 or 9 cars. You didn't run up into my block.
We're up to 4-9.
All right?
That's
Now,
the real hill. That's the real
things
sugar
have
hill.
changed,
Yeah.
but not
A lot of
much.
things change, yeah. But
But man, that's I want to do what you do, and it's not necessarily. I want the people that want drugs. I want the dads that went to prison.
Yep.
I want the dads that didn't go to prison. I want us to help each other. If you need a lawyer to help you negotiate your visitation, fine. If you are a piece of shit, you are a piece of shit, whether it's male or female.
right.
But you don't need to be bashed and your child hates you and then loses that time and find out it wasn't you, because I'm not going to rebash my wife. Oh, your mother said I was bad. Or, Mom said you did this. I'm not going to go back and ask, well, your mother did. No, I'm sorry, that's what you heard. Have I ever bashed your mother?
No.
Yeah, my
We
dad never
both,
did.
we had dragged down, knockout fights. We've done things together, good and bad. Together, two partners in crime.
Right, yeah.
When they were born, and we used to drop them off at her mother's house. But I would never say that. That's up to her.
Yeah.
I can't say you're a drug addict or an alcoholic. I can say I am. When I stopped getting high, I didn't have them bird out all the liquor stores and run the drug addicts out of town. It was my addiction, my fault. Anything I did in life was my choice. I can't say the devil made me do it. Jesus can't say I let him do it. There was no gun in my head. Even when I went to prison, it was my choice to get in a fight. I could have walked away. I had my children. No, I didn't. I called my parents to Boston. Here's my children. The girl I was with, who was found out later on when someone went to prison, she was pregnant at the time. Thank God I didn't have that, dodge that bullet. Yes.
Plus these two.
Oh, man. I thought you said you weren't going to bash me. What else?
They hated her because the mother hated her, and she was kind of mean because she just wanted me and she didn't want no attachment.
Yeah.
And we had got married
It's a package deal.
after I divorced their mother. We were just oil and water, but my children were the best thing that happened to us.
Yeah.
And she called. I came. I don't care who I was with. I don't care if I was on Uranus. My children came before everybody, even before her. Important. And my children became good kids, even despite my wife and I, all the elements around us. They are good kids. We all do bad things.
And that's the point, is to taking the accountability and moving on from it too, man. And what's the main message, right? You'd want somebody to get out of watching this, from hearing your story?
I'm gonna let you start.
This is my message. I know this is my message, right? When I was telling my dad back when I was like right before he went to prison, he was living on Gulf Street.
Yeah.
Right before he went to prison. One thing I always remembered about my dad was he used to let us swear.
Okay.
I used to want to chill with my dad. I used to want to chill with my dad because he used to let us swear. Something as simple as that.
But not about the grandmother.
No, I'm talking about when it was just us.
Yeah.
He used to be like, get it all out. And we'd be like, fucking bitch, and we'd be talking about this shit, right? But he would just let us get it out of his system, and honestly, we felt better after.
Yeah.
It's like almost like it sounds crazy, but it's like therapy. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the biggest things that stood out.
Well, that's my uncle used to say to me.
He used to let us swear. He used to let us swear. All the shit that we couldn't do with our moms, we could do with our dad. I'd be like, yo, I want to go with my dad, gang. Like, because
He got me.
He wasn't judging us.
I was drunk one time, and his sister got me home. They drove my car, got me home, and I was terrified that I got there. All right, but listen, this is the message I got. Again, wherever you go with you.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you can change your locale, you can change your girlfriend, you can change your clothes. You're the same individual in it. If you go to prison, it doesn't mean your life stops. Hopefully you will have it out. It means fixing what's within you to make you a better person. And sometimes apologizing to the people that you may have hurt, whether they accept it or not, even if they're living or not.
Yeah.
I have a sister that I apologize because I was a rotten little brother. She could have won the Nobel Peace Prize, but because my father is old school, you know, what have you done for me lately? I spelled my name right. I have a ticker tape parade. But wherever you go with you. Be positive about your life. And life's not fair, but it should be just. It's not fair.
Right.
Whether somebody got $1 million from a lotto or made a particular toy and got the $1 million or discovered something or worked hard all his life and finally got it. Or guess what? Worked hard with his life and died a poor man.
Yep.
He put his effort in life for himself. If you have a story out there, if you have the time, the knowledge, and which is the knowledge you don't need, write it down.
Yep.
I mean, don't put your memoirs on. It's going to put you in prison.
Right. Yeah. Be smart about
But
it.
write if you can write. Get your stuff out there, some sort of journal. Keep it to yourself. And if you need to contact me, I will show you how to get your book published.
And if you're trying to get on here, you know who the fucking contacts.
Yes, sir.
I want to make a podcast for dads. I want to write more books again. These are
one more time with the books. Yep.
Hold to me. This is Genesis, my first book, and this is Determined System, my second book. The next book coming out is going to be called Vanishing Point. That's going to be about Convict Alley. It's Walpole. Let me see. Walpole, Norfolk, SECC, Gardner, Concord. The cards called that Shirley Medium. They call that Convict Alley because all the prisoners are on the same row.
Right.
What would happen if all the prisoners and guards disappeared?
Yeah.
Overnight, every prison was empty. That's what Vanishing Point is going to be about. And I got 3 more books coming out, all the way to a zombie one. That's the end.
You see all the prisons getting shut down too. It's not too far fetched.
So I'm giving you these 2 books. I will sign them later.
Awesome.
And if every once in a while you want to bring them up,
Absolutely.
have these.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. I was just gonna ask for these for me.
That's a book.
But again, at the end, don't ever
I got hold of the book.
give up on yourself.
Absolutely.
Don't ever give up on yourself. And I mean, don't ever give up on yourself. All right, please. And on the back of Genesis, on the back of I did these the artwork myself.
Oh, you did the artwork too.
Oh, everything.
There we go.
On the back of
He used to write the
I used to do
old school.
Old school. I used to write that. My father got me down.
Okay.
Yes, and on the back of Determined Sister is my old tag. I used to tag on the side of subways in New York City, right there. That's why they call it that.
Okay.
Way before 50 Cent had it. All right. Don't give up on yourself. And any family members out there that see this, don't give up on your people. Even if you got to be from a distance, write them a note of encouragement. Write them in prison. Write them to let them know, even if they can't come with you from whatever the circumstances is, that you got their back, even if it's spiritually. Pray for them. If you know that they have an addiction problem, don't just send them to AA.
Even if you want to whip their ass,
Go.
give them a break.
Go with them. Learn about addiction. No one's saying that you're addicted or you have a problem. That's their thing. But if you know you can help them or get them to the point where they can be clean and have clarity, sometimes a little bit of clarity other than just prison. Prison gets your body physically clean, but you know you can find stuff in there. Don't give up on your family. Please,
Like
please,
that.
please, please, please. My son was 8 months old when I went in. I didn't see him physically again until he was 18.
Wow.
I was supposed to do a 20-year sentence, and I was grateful that because of my other son, he's in my life. And I mean, him and I talk every day. Malcolm and I talk.
Nice.
I didn't talk to this guy that much. I talk to his kids more than him.
Right.
They say like, why you didn't give you giving them more stuff than this because I'm lucky to have it.
Absolutely.
What I had with
That's
you
amazing.
was you had my education, you had my work ethics. All my children have that. They would work for some dust or to make sure families everything. Families everything.
Absolutely.
You know, friends come and go.
And now you guys are here sharing the couch. This is a first for
I'll
the
come
bounce
back
back. Father and son right here, man.
You know,
It's dope.
so listen, please, if you ever need us back together again, 100% fine, separately fine. My next book will be out soon.
Absolutely.
Thank God,
We're
man.
about to bring you back to promote it.
You know, one thing before we end out. Thank God I don't look like this nigga. Right?
I came out and then I got myself back to normal.
It is.
This guy is like Jack.
Salute to you, mother.
Bach Brown plus two right here, man.
We gotta bring Junior in there because Junior, we call Trey. I was trying to have a trip. I was gonna have him March the 3rd. He's our chain breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we both went, I went later in life. He went earlier in his life.
Right.
But if he didn't go, he wouldn't lock down the kids that I left. I went to make sure they didn't come. And then he decided to go. I did everything in my power to keep them
I
out.
said like 2 ships passing in the sea.
That's how it was because they kept moving us around. They wouldn't put it. Oh my God, we'd have been running shit.
No, we was on the same camp.
It'd have been different because he got all the gang affiliation. I got all the education affiliation. It would have been unstoppable.
Oh yeah, they didn't want to see none of that. But now you guys are out here on the streets, and the things are even more incredible for the future, and the possibilities I feel like are amazing. And I'm glad that y'all got to reconnect. I'm glad that we're here on the Bounce Back Father and Son episode, man. And guys, you know, Mark Brown ×2, man. I'm B. Luke, man, guys. It is what it is.
Manhattan.
Bounce back, you got a moment.